Oh, hard.
Chicken.
But there's Russo, hard and straight. And once you get through the first line, it should be pretty easy to finish it off.
Jim Shaladze.
The restarts have been pretty average from both sides tonight. Certainly Georgia haven't been able to do it, and Solomon Boone won't be too enamoured with that. 2 hands on the ball. Perhaps the lifting wasn't the best either.
Yes, he wasn't fully supported, was he? And here's George again. And coming in off the left wing, Kavtarashvili trying to set the ball for Iloshvili. Whistle's gone. No advantage. There were hands on the ground from the South African defenders, so maybe another penalty opportunity. Will they go into the corner, or will Jim Shaladze have a pot of goal?
Just looking at Ricardo Laubscher there, the South African fullback. Day like this, he thought, great, good running game, do a bit of counter-attacking. Well, we haven't seen him in attack, have we, at all, hardly? And he'd be very disappointed with that. Terre Blanche and Tolza haven't really had a run. South African hands in the ruck there, although to be fair to Scholz, he is on his feet, presuming that Scholz that's penalised.
Can he maintain his 100% record? Yes, Ricardo Laubscher, he came into he came into the side for the very exciting Brent Russell, another of the South Africans who made his name through the 7 system. But he ain't here. This man is right here, right now. He scored all of Georgia's points in the World Cup, and he maintains that record. 29 points to 9 now. There's been 190 tries in this tournament so far after 23 and a half matches. Not a bad return. Georgia are still the only side not to have scored one. It was a bit like Aussie rules there, wasn't it? Sapaka sets it for de Kock. Hooghardt. Dickinson brings the back offside against Georgia.
Another dreadful restart, wasn't it? Georgia allowing the ball to bounce, and he went 12 metres. They still allowed the ball to bounce. Now South Africa not going for goal, going for the corner.
I'll say, Jimmy, you're the expert in this department, but maybe it's the ball they're getting. But South Africa don't seem to have much to offer in midfield.
No, they don't. There doesn't seem to be what I call a touch player, somebody who can get through half gaps and have a runner outside him going through. The ball's not been great. Admittedly, they haven't had quick second phase ball. There's nothing wrong with running scrum ball either, but I would hope Van Niekerk does not pick up from the base anymore, because those moves have been appalling. Instruction given by the referee. And Rudolf Strauly, we haven't seen a sort of cutaway shot of the South African coach, and I suspect he's looking pretty miserable, because basic errors and indiscipline and just lack of organisation, it seems, it has to be said, which is his department, obviously. But there it was, he was just hiding behind his own man, and that was the obstruction quite rightly given by the referee.
I'd like to see a cutaway of Francois Pienaar in the studio. I imagine he's now in the brace position. Modorbadze, Jim Shaladze, Katsadze into the line again. Max Canelli, we saw one blistering burst for him in the first half. Well, they've turned it over to Kock. Little chip through and chase, but it's into touch.
But there's no sense of urgency about the South Africans, is there? I mean, they could be playing this game at a pace that Georgia could not live with. Just their basic fitness would not live with the pace of a game that South Africa could play, but they just seem to have complete lack of interest in doing that and upping the ante.
Dunasvili's throw in there, but the ball was slapped out of the hand of Georgadze by Bakis Butha. Again, it's not a great throw in. Its advantage, though, it's a knock forward by a South African hand in that line out, but Dunasvili's having problems with throwing in. Hasn't been quite as bad as Mario Ledesma was here in the last game we did at the Aussie Stadium.
Not that difficult.
No. Fair point. Badzi, that Georgian scrummage again under pressure, but Badzi did well. He was caught by Rosso. So difficult for a scrum half when the scrum is retreating at such a pace.
Now, who's the decision maker in South Africa now, saying, forwards, let's have the ball, please. We're going to do a couple of backline moves, or a backline move. Get Laubscher in from fullback. But will Van Niekerk pick up from the base, or will they do a back row move? But there's obviously no short side. What's the referee saying here?
Oh, I'm sure Laubscher would love a run, but anything to get rid of the goose pimples, because he's done nothing all night, has he? I think he's caught one high ball, and that's been about it. Rock solid for de Kock. Now, what can they work here? Can they create through the midfield for the first time? And Laubscher does come into the line, but he's well defended.
Well, when you wait to the 49th minute from a set piece to really try and get it through the hands, wide missed ball. It wasn't done particularly well at pace, wasn't a great line or angles from the backs. And Hernelidze was the man that came in.
Yeah, and it was good covering by the left winger. Look at that scrummage yet again. Jim Shaladze has to be quick. He's got a good boot on him, Jim Shaladze. He does make yardage, but failing to find touch. And now Laubscher. They're going to maybe try and move this one this time through Werner Greif. No. Werner Greif, no. The boot is the option. And the way this Georgian line-out has been going of late, that's maybe not a bad option, because they're looking like stealing ball all the time.
Excellent kick. Excellent kick. Werner Greif. Hands haven't been the best.
Played full-back against Uruguay, Werner Greif. See that line out is really becoming very disorganised indeed, and they're being helped actually by South Africans knocking the ball forward, because the accuracy of the throwing in, well, he's just basically lost it now, Dunasvili, and is throwing in. Badze, and they pick up at number 8. It's knocked forward by Chikadze, but they're trying everything in their powers to somehow get the ball away from the tail of that scrummage, because they really are being squeezed hard.
Yes, absolutely right. It's the only option they've got, really, and Chikadze had to do that, lost it forward in the tackle. We're pretty much back to the same position of the South African scrum a few minutes ago. So could this be another move? Will anyone know what they're doing? De Kock. Hart. A little step, good little step it was by Werner Greif, but it's another error, another knock forward by the Springboks when they were in a good position. So Georgia quite happily running the ball, because they know they've got the advantage here. Match Canelli. Badze, Jim Shaladze. Oh, it's a poor pass. And it's Dunasvili, the hooker, who's either decided to play like Sean Fitzpatrick or he's out of gas. And he was taking up a position on the left wing inside his own 22 there. And that's a relieving kick.
just takes the heat off for a second or two. The heat might come back on pretty quickly, though. Here's Loebscher. Brayton Polza. The wingers haven't really had much ball for South Africa either. We know Brayton Polza can run, and the interception, and it's Dini Bulidze for Georgia. They want quick ball here. Jim Saladze looking to spread it, and there's an overlap here, and it's the big flanker Siklari. Listen to the crowd here in Sydney. Jim Saladze, well, the defenders are back now. It's going to be difficult for the Georgians to break down this Springbok defence, but Katsadze, all 17 stone of the skipper, has a go, and they get the penalty under the post.
You get 6.
Could be yellow card time. Normally when the referee stops it, and it's Scholz he's asking to speak to. South African counter-attack went badly wrong, to say the least. Let's have a listen in.
I spoke about players killing the ball there. You've lay over the ball, you've killed it. It's not acceptable, okay? They're on attack, off you go.
Another huge cheer in Sydney. Andrew Scholz becomes the 20th yellow card of this Rugby World Cup. No sendings off as yet. And South Africa, well, Georgia deciding to keep the pressure up. And this is where Dadunashvili has to take a couple of deep breaths, the hooker. He's getting a pat on the buttocks there from his mates. You know, come on, give us a good ball here.
They've got to be a bit patient too, George. Don't rush it. Just take your time, get organised.
It's well taken by Siklari. Listen to the cheers, and they've scored. Georgia have got their first try of the tournament. The only side up to now who hadn't managed to breach the whitewash, and it's the hooker who's done it. Dadunashvili. What a moment for the 21-year-old from Nîmes.
Well, they run over pretty much unopposed too. Good line out, good throw to start it from the try scorer himself. And he sweeps round. Van Niekerk's drawn in. Thank you very much. Nobody lays a hand. Is he a happy boy?
Well, it's one of the great pipe and slippers moments, isn't it? Wait till I tell you, have I ever told you about the day I scored a try in the Rugby World Cup against the former world champions in Sydney? Well, let me just run you through it one more time. Where's that video?
We started out by saying, can the South African side get into their first team? Well, I think a few of these Georgians are going to get into their first team.
Oh, is this Australia playing here? I missed something. Atmosphere is sensational. 29-16. You know, what's happening out there? I can't wait to hear Francois now.
And they're down to 14 men, South Africa. Scholz in the bin.
It's not forward, was it? No. Yeah, it has gone forward. I thought that Kobe Leone had knocked it backwards. It was the second man coming in, actually.
And normality is resumed, the dropping of a restart, because both sides have been doing it all night. Just when they've done the hard work, easy take from the kickoff. Now South Africa, what can you offer?
Georgia are very close to being penalised for driving before the ball comes in, and again, it's almost survival instinct, isn't it?
Well, they'll probably have a go here because they're down to 7 men, South Africa, in the scrum.
Cock, and it's Polsa coming in off the wing. And into the line comes Loebscher and a Stefan Terblanche. One of the great South African wingers in his 37th appearance, but Georgia got some lift. The adrenaline is pumping through those veins now.
But actually, it was much better hands from the South Africans. A bit lateral across the field. Terblanche is dragged into touch, but at least it got through the hands. Laubs had a bit of a run. And because they were down to 7 men, they actually ran the ball through the back line.
Andy Ilosvili to the front of that line out to Giorgadze, and that's a little bit better. That's maybe what they should try and do more is get the ball to the front of that line-out, especially inside their own 22, because whenever they throw it deep, they make a mess of it. Here's Ricardo Lobsher. Now the cock is outside here, and now Brayton Paulsa scampers, and I'm not sure why he passed the ball there, because it looked like it had a clean run to the line, and now it's Ilosvili who gathers it for